Men of Reddit, what's the creepiest thing a woman has ever said to you?
She told me she would rather kill me and then herself than see me with someone else.
As a child, less than 10 YO, my then-stepmom requested some specific candy bar from my trick-or-treating haul. When I refused, she casually said, "I'll rape you for it." I had only a vague idea of what the word meant, but it sounded like bad news. Bonus, same individual performed a tactile inspection of my downstairs when I tried on a new bathing suit to ensure that my package was alright.
I want to have sex with you, and I want my husband to come in the room to catch us having sex and you ending up fighting him.
At a bar, a woman a good 20 years older than me walked up from behind me, ran her hands through my hair and said, "I'm a dominatrix."
A complete and total stranger walked over to me and said, "I need you to rearrange my guts with your cock." She pointed at the men's bathroom and then walked over and into it. While I left. This woman had 20 years at least on everyone in that place, and the best way for me to describe how she looked is to say half-crushed beer can.
Mine is so harmless in comparison to a lot of these, but was stoned and hooking up with this girl. We are foreplaying and she's sitting cowgirl kissing my neck and I am digging it. Suddenly she's like licking and slurping my neck and chest. She sits up, moves her face an inch from mine to stare into my eyes and says, "Where did you get your skin?" It's delicious. I was so high I could only reply, "My parents?"
She held up a banana and asked if my penis was the same size. In the middle of a dinner rush. As loud as can be. In front of about 5 customers and everyone on shift that night. And this was after she groped my brother's ass. Somehow she didn't get fired for this shit, and I still resent my former boss for not being more attentive.
I want to have your ADHD-infested children.
A woman I matched with on Tinder told me that she likes to kill animals, and then asked to meet me in the middle of the woods. I figured that might be a red flag, so unmatched, and never went back to Tinder.
Will you sleep with me if I drug and stab you? It'll be fun. I was waiting for my bus at 6 a.m.
I had a gal tell me she was gonna follow me home and fuck the dog shit out of me whether I wanted it or not. For context, I was living in the Bronx at the time. I heard shit like that all the time.
I worked at a caviar bar in SF and it was basically cougar bait. One time this relatively older lady said, "You look just like my son. You should come home with me." B should not follow from A.
If you didn't have the ring on you, I would have raped you.
Do you want to stick it in my sticky pussy? I was still a virgin and this question did not convince me to stick it anywhere for a while.
Drunk woman with an older lady nearby sat down next to me on a bench and looked at me, "I'll fuck you if you can beat up my mom over there."
I was 14, she was 16, just started talking due to our mutual friends were dating. After a week she drops, "I got a bun in the oven, and you can be the father." Hung up the phone and never spoke to her again. Edit, I was obviously not the father after only talking to the chick for a week.
I'm, really submissive. Like, I let a guy shit in my mouth once, and I didn't even like him that much. For context, it was our second, and last, date.
Slightly off topic, but this experience comes to mind reading this. This weekend at Felt Music Festival in Toronto, I was actually aggressively approached. A girl had grabbed my arm as my friend and I were walking by. As I tried to pull away, she looked me dead in the eye and said nothing. I said, "Sorry, I'm in a hurry to the bathroom, can't talk." She then proceeded to touch my stomach and tried to get a handful of my package. Throughout all this, she said nothing. Scared the shit out of me.
I worked at a fast food place years ago. My girlfriend came in for a milkshake and was waiting at the end of the counter with one of our regulars. Doris, the regular, was near 90 years old, and had invited me home to have pot roast at her house multiple times. I was being a pain, and put about a foot of whipped cream over the top of the lid of my GF's milkshake and brought it to her. Doris looked at her, then looked at me deadpan and said, "I wish you'd cream me like that." Doris never ordered desserts. Edit, added a much-needed space.
I hate to tell you this, but I had to have an abortion, and it was yours. We never did more than kiss. I mean, I'm a pretty solid kisser, but not that good.
That I was so cute she wanted to beat me.
You're so cute. I want to break into your room, kill you and stuff you so that we can be together forever. I started locking the doors religiously afterwards.
Boy, show me that pooper. Atlanta, Georgia, bending over slightly to adjust my shoe while standing in line at a rock show. She was an old burnout that resembled a reptile. It sounded so gross coming from her gravelly throat, I'll never forget it.
Had an ex who routinely threatened to cut it off. Any chance she got, she would have her hands on it and sometimes would say things like, "If you ever cheat on me, I'll cut you dick off, and if I could cut it off and keep it in a jar, I wouldn't need you anymore." I would wake up with her holding onto it while looking at me. Crazy AF, but yeah.
Would it be weird if my son called you dad? I was 18, she was 25, we were co-workers at a Walmart photo lab and she said that to me on the phone while I was walking to her place to hook up for the first time. I was young and horny and simply said, no. He'd just be wrong.
When I was younger, I worked in a bar popular with 18 to 20-year-olds. One night as a group of girls was leaving, I made eye contact with one of them. That was enough. She came stumbling up to the bar and said, "I have to show you the background on my phone." She put her phone on the bar and the background was a picture of me. "I took it about 3 weeks ago, I'm totally obsessed. Your photo is the last thing I see before I go to sleep and the first thing I see when I wake up."
15 minutes into the first date, next time we meet, please bring me something from your house, something you like, but not expensive.
Called me at work and said, "You don't know me, but I know you."
A girl once told me that she was jealous of her friend because she got raped and got a cute baby out of it. I don't think I ever felt less comfortable.
Back in college, I was at a study group and I found myself talking to this girl. Just talking about class and eventually just talking about random other stuff like life at school and favorite places to eat nearby. Then after a moment of silence, she tells me that she wants to see me fight off a group of guys trying to attack her and she'd hold me while I was beaten up and bleeding on the floor. I mean, just randomly dropping that on someone when a minute ago we were talking about best places to get cheap food is a bit much edit, for the dozens of people asking. I just kinda brushed it off and awkwardly tried to turn the conversation to something not about me getting violently beat up. Also, I'd maybe talked to her a handful of times and always in class, and this was the first out of classroom conversation I'd had with her.